Are you somebody that is a little bit petrified of heights? Like if somebody says, okay, let's do something fun. How about we climb that mountain up there and maybe we'll look down from the top? And how about going, why don't we go bungee jumping? Or what about, what's that called? Streamlining? Or uh, I've done that where you just strap
Oh,
yourself on and zip lining. Yeah. So
zip lining.
all right.
Oh,
Well,
oh,
the person we are going to be working on today would be horrified and probably just freeze, trying to be invisible. But it doesn't always happen when you're with somebody that says, oh, this will be so much fun. They're like, I don't think so. So we're on episode 76. I'm Dana Smithers, one of the Emotion Code Divas. And Helena's going to be working with someone that is afraid of heights. Um, and I'll be talking about inner child and the subconscious because this person had a lot of negative information fed into him about fears and why not to do things. So I'm going to talk a bit about that. Um, Helena and I are both emotion code practitioners certified by Dr. Bradley Nelson. This is his latest book. I highly recommend it. It's got a lot more information in it. It's got a great glossary in it as well that gives definition to everything. As an emotion code practitioner, Helene and I have always had access to that, but now he's put it in the book. So this is great for everybody because he really does want people to understand how important this emotional healing is and that you can do it to yourself as well. I know I just gave myself a session the other day about something, and it's just always such a nice release to let these emotions go. And for myself, I also do Reiki. I like working with animals as well with emotion code. And I'm a law of attraction trainer as well. So those are some of the tools I have in my toolkit. But Helena has different tools in her toolkit. So tell us about that, Helena.
good morning, everyone. I am Helena Jenikin. I am a certified emotion code practitioner as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And yes, I use hypnotherapy with my clients and also the emotion code. Actually, Dana, I love to help women and men lose excess weight, overcome fears, all kinds of fears, heights, flying, public speaking, animals, insects. But I also have a real passion to help people stop smoking.
Yes.
And do you know, Dana, last week I had a client come into the office for a stop smoking session, and I have a pretty standard protocol that I use. But I was listening to her words, and I realized that I needed to clear up something before we did the session. And I used the emotion code for about 5 minutes.
Hmm.
And as she did the release work, all of a sudden I looked at her and I said, "Are you a smoker?" She goes, "No, I don't want to smoke." And she was already done. We continued to do. It was like, but I'm like, okay, well, we still have another hour and a half, so let's do something. And we did a little
Wow, isn't that
reinforcement.
great?
But the emotion code, it was just something that just released it, and she was so impressed with it that she ordered Dr. Brad's book. She went home and she messaged me. She goes, I have to get this book because what just happened to me was incredible. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, that goes into the law of attraction because Helena is such a believer in the
Mm.
protocol, the hypnosis, the emotion code, and her ability to be that vehicle that helps people stop smoking, that plays a huge role in things as well. So, intention is huge when we start working with people. So let's kind of jump right in. So I have already spoken to our viewer client today, and they've given me what we call permission. So we always need that. As much sometimes as Helene and I would like to work on somebody that we know is going through something, we cannot do it without their permission. And in this case, because the person is not with Helena in her office, she's going to act as this person's proxy, which just means taking the place of the person, and she will tap into this person's subconscious and get connected that way. So when we're doing that, we are also asking that person before we start the severity. And he has indicated it's about a 7-8 for him, but Helena's going to check in. We're going to check in with that subconscious about that. And how we do that is through, as Dr. Brad talks about a lot, the muscle testing. So Helena has her technique. She has an agreement with her subconscious. Mine looks like this. I put my index and thumb together, my middle and index finger from the other hand. And with the emotion code, we're only getting yes or no answers. So this is a yes for me, and that's a no. If you're practicing for yourself, there's no need to put any pressure in here at all. I did 3 sessions in a row yesterday, and had I been putting a lot of pressure, my arms would be tired, my fingers would be sore, but it's just light. And Helena, yours is a little bit different.
So my agreement with my subconscious mind is when I link these two fingers into circles like this and think of the word yes, they lock together. And as soon as I think of the word no, they just pull apart. And again, it's not a lot of pressure, so we can move quite rapidly. And the more we do it, actually, Dana, the more we trust our answers for the muscle testing.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And so I'm just going to we're actually going to be looking at this chart of the emotions. So Helena's going to be asking, is it in column A or is the trapped emotion in column B? Is it in an odd row or an even row? But because of what's happened with this person, he mentioned some or shared some early childhood stories about being told from his mother, who was always fearful that something was going to happen to him. So don't do this, don't do that. I'm just going to read you something from some research that I did on the inner child, because I like working with inner child. I like working with chakras as well. So this is the comment. From conception in our mother's womb until around the age of 6, for our subconscious mind is making decisions about what we should be or how we should act or fit in to be seen as okay in the family and the world dynamic. This time of our life is referred to as the inner child stage, where all of the memories from this time are stored, and they will continue to have a huge impact throughout your entire life, and if you bear children, in their lives as well. Remember, Dr. Brad talks about inherited emotion. So your parents' emotions and their lifestyle habits at the time of our conception up to the age of about 6 affect how your inner child sees itself now. So what their stress levels were, how excited or resentful they felt about you being born, everything they ate, drank, thought, and did play a huge role in how safe you felt even before you were born. Dr. Bradley Nelson suggests that it is typically the 3rd trimester where these emotions show up, and they can also be inherited emotion passed on from generation to generation. So that's just a bit about how powerful that subconscious is, because after the age of 6, the brain starts to do different things, and it actually starts to prove all these things that you've been told. So all these beliefs that you've been told about yourself. So how we release these emotions when Helena's doing this work is she's actually going to be using a magnet. So we all have different types of magnets. These are hematite. And what we're going to be doing is releasing the trapped emotion. Yep, Helena's got lots of different ones there as well, with 3 swipes over the head. And just to release that, inherited 10 swipes. And something that we are always doing. Cheers. This is water. We have to drink a lot of water. So Helena, I'm going to let you get going right now. And if there's a certain emotion that needs more definition, I'm going to do that. So you can go ahead and just check into that severity.
So I've got my chart right here. I'm just going to be looking at it. And so here we go. So I'm just going to check to make sure I'm hydrated. Yep, it says I'm hydrated. That's my subconscious. And now I'm just going to ask to become our viewer today, our volunteer. There we go. I'm just making sure that I'm this person. Yep, 67. Yep. And just checking on the severity of fear of heights. So out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a 10. There's an absolute fear of heights. No denying it whatsoever. So are there trapped emotions causing this fear of heights? Yes. And Dan, I just want to let you know, into our volunteer, and we become their proxy. Not start to pick up some just an underlying nervousness. So I'm just going to go right with that. So is there a nervous? Yes, I'm going to release.
Yeah, so sometimes if an emotion pops into our mind when we get started and we're connected,
Nervousness.
You can release that emotion right away, and then you can go through the
Five of them
chart
causing
A or B.
Oh, okay. So is that five of them, are they in column A? No, they're all in B. They're all in the even row. Any in 2, 4? There's some in 4 and 6. Okay, so in 4, is it depression, frustration, indecisive, panic, and taken for granted? Can I release all those? Yes, we can release all of those. Frustration, indecisiveness, panic, and taken for granted. And those emotions, Dana, are being generated as per the ancient Chinese through the liver or the gallbladder. Did I release all those? Yes. And so there's 1 and 6. Yes, is it pride? It's pride. Can you just read pride? Pride is such an interesting emotion.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I'll go ahead and look that up. So the trapped emotion of pride, it's from Dr. Brad, it's in the glossary. It says an overly high regard for oneself due to some real or imagined merit or superiority. That's one part of it. Vanity or an excessive desire to be noticed, praised, or approved. Another definition, feeling better than others, haughtiness, being non-teachable, having to be right. That's a big one for people, having to be right, expecting more credit than has been earned, treating others with disdain or contempt, being in a state of resistance to others, and in particular to God or the Creator. Now, having a healthy amount of pride, self-respect, and self-esteem is a good thing, and this type of pride usually doesn't show up as a trapped emotion.
So I've just released hidden pride and also a vibrational resonance of pride.
Okay.
But there's no more trapped emotions. There are no more hidden emotions. Are there prenatal emotions? These are emotions that are absorbed during the womb while the baby's in the womb. And I absorbed this emotion from my mother. Is it A, B, odd, even, 2, 4, 6, 6? Pride. Absorb pride. I sometimes call it like false pride.
Mm-hmm.
So can I release it? Yes, I can release this absorbed pride during the womb from my mother. Often, the mothers, they have such well, in my experience, the reason they want to keep their children so safe is they're so afraid of losing them.
Yeah.
It's done from an absolute protection, but it probably was something learnt from her as well, or something's going on there. But do we need to know more about that? No. So do I release the prenatal emotion? Yes. How about inherited? No, there's no inherited. Is there any psychic traumas? Yes. Is it A, B, odd, even, 2, 4? Is it depression, frustration, indecisive, panic, taken for granted? So it's panic, and there's another emotion that was trapped at the very same time in column A. No, in column B. Is it odd, even, 2, 4, 6, 6? Pride. Pride and panic. Can you imagine being panicking inside, but too proud to be able to show it or let anybody know or even ask for help? Can I release that? Yes. Releasing panic. Release that. And pride linked together. at the same time at the same event.
Yeah.
Trapped unprocessed. We're processing it now.
So I'm just going to say something about the law of attraction here, that as we grow, I mean, with emotions, they can be prenatal, they can be inherited, but with the law of attraction, we have a vibrational bubble around us, and people's energy can affect and leak into our vibrational bubble, because with the law of attraction, whatever we spend our attention and or give our attention, energy, or focus to, we attract more of it. So in this case, it may be that his mother was feeling oversensitive, afraid, don't do things. So some of those beliefs were penetrating his vibrational bubble, so that that part of became part of his fears as well. And when we're that young, we are definitely, absorbing everything into our subconscious until we get to a stage where we can actually process this at a different level.
So, Dana, as a practitioner, we are given some other tools from Dr. Bradley Nelson, and one of them is what we call the trauma energy chart. And I found an energy on this particular chart of disappointment. And because before that, I had gotten down from a 10 down to a 3. And reducing the number is very good, but if we can get it down to a 0, that's even better. So that's why I went asking a few more questions. And right now, watch this. So on my our volunteer, yes, before it was a 10 of my fear of heights, and now it's a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. It's very curious. So now it's 0. So when I got to 0, all of a sudden my thinking went to, I wonder if I could get past believing that I'm afraid of heights. And it said, yes. I wonder if I'm curious what it would be like walking across a suspension bridge. Yes. Do I want to give it a try? I do. I want to give it a try. And as you know, Yoda, our very enlightened Yoda from Star Wars said, "No, Luke, no try. Do or do not."
Yeah.
So let's see. Yep, he wants to give it. He wants to actually do it. Good.
All
I'm
right.
just
Well,
gonna.
I'm going to check in with him and see if that's the case, because where we live, we do have a suspension bridge, which I have been across. And even though I wouldn't say I'm afraid of heights, there definitely was a little bit of trepidation as that bridge starts to swing, and you're just looking down at there. But really, nothing is going to happen, right? That's where the phobia part comes in.
Yeah, and the phobia is the focus in using law of attraction of what could happen negatively. So shifting it to what would it be like to actually accomplish such a task?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I'll keep you posted on that. All right. So our next show is, yeah, so each week, each month, we like to do a different topic. So next month is July is all about relationships. So we're going to be, we've got someone lined up for episode 77 for the Heart Wall. So we'll be looking for someone that's got the divorce blues, retirement blues, someone that doesn't feel like they belong, they feel lost, and then someone that's going through grief. And I have to say, those are a lot of areas that I work on with women. I'm working on just about every one of those areas right now with the women that I'm working with. So may even be one of them might want to step up for that as well. But that's it for now. So thanks so much from the Divas. Helena, how can people find you?
People can find me through my website, which is Flourish Hypnosis / emotion code. I have a Facebook page, Flourish Hypnosis, as well as YouTube channel.
Excellent. And you can find me, DannisMothers.com, emotion-code. And my YouTube channel is Empowered Women in Business. There's lots of different playlists on there. All the 76 episodes will be going up today, and lots on the law of attraction as well. So bye for now.